And welcome to Tackle the Board. My name is Chris Exusion. You can find me at Chris Ebomb on Twitter. And this is Russ Reese, the Vegas line reader. You're in the right place if you're watching the show. Thank you for tuning in. This is where the winners have been coming in 15-2 the last 2 weeks. Myself, 8-0 in these last 2 weeks. We're running hot, Russ.
Yeah, we're dominating. I'm actually been winning so much I can't keep track. I'm like, you're on Tackle the Board. We're 15-2. I'm like, I can't backtrack all these games. So definitely a great week. I went 4-0. You went what? 3-0?
3-0, yeah.
Yeah, 3-0. But you had a great week. Like you were 8-0, right? The last 2 weeks, right?
That's correct. Yeah, 5-0, exactly. 5-0, and then 3-0.
See?
Rolling.
Yeah, it's tough to keep track, man. So we're red hot. We've been making money all season, and we're getting toward the end of the season, guys, and it's a fun time for everyone because it's the bowl season too, and we're going to have some picks for you guys for the bowls as well. Did our research, feeling good, and Chris is going to get us started with the first game. This is actually a game that we both really like this week, so we're going to see who Chris likes in this game. We got the Tennessee Titans at the Pittsburgh Steelers +2. Who you got here, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I always like when we match a game. The last few weeks or so, when we've been matching games, we've been winning these games. So I'm pretty excited. I'm hoping we're going to match here. I'm on the Titans this week when it comes down to it. Steelers are coming off a loss against the Vikings where they got dominated most of the game. And the box score really didn't tell the whole story. They were getting killed most of the game. And the Titans are coming off a dominating win against a lifeless Jags team. I get it. Everyone quit on Urban Meyer for the most part. And now the Steelers have started to slow down in games because they're ranked 30th in NFL in first down plays. That's the number one thing here. On first down, they've been absolutely terrible. They've been getting off to a really bad start because of it. And it's because of Big Ben's play. We talked about this before, Russ. Big Ben is no good.
I hear you. You still going?
Yeah, I'm still rolling. I thought you would have had a little something for me. We'll keep rolling now. Anyway, so I'm going to get more into it over here. But the defense hasn't fared well on first down either. They're ranking 31st in that as well. So first down on offense and defense for the Steelers have been absolutely terrible. The Titans have the advantage when it comes to offensive and defensive matchups. They just have the winning margin with it based on the DVOA. And the Steelers, they've been a streaky team this year when it's been coming to losing and winning. They've been in streaks. Now we're starting to get into this losing streak. So I think this losing streak is going to continue here. And the Titans are 4-0 in their last 5 games following it against the spread wins. So I like where the Titans is at right now. So give me Titans laying 1.5 on the road.
So when we're both red hot right now, someone's bound to lose at some point. So first time we're going to disagree here.
Oh, no.
So I'm going with the Steelers here. Titans are a team that are have an average quarterback that I just will never trust as a favorite with Tannehill. Tannehill, the last 2 seasons, when he's favored by 6 points or less, he's 4-9 against the spread. Now you want me to trust him as a favorite versus Steelers team who looked bad on defense last week versus the Vikings. I feel like they're going to think the Steelers defense shows up for this game and shuts down the Titans offense. And I said it last week when they faced the Jaguars. It was a dumb mistake. I gave out some free pick on the Jaguars last week, but the Titans offense just don't score. I mean, they put up 20 points in that game, but it just really didn't dominate to me playing the Jaguars in that game. The Jags could have easily gotten back into that game, but the Titans just right now aren't scoring points for me, and I just don't trust them as a favorite. So I'll take the Steelers here at +1.5, +2, whatever it's at.
Yeah, I mean, I don't trust Big Ben. I'm not going to lie to you. We talked up before, he's putting his hands up in the air for like, yes, I got a completion, all this stuff. I don't like where he's at. And the rush defense has been real terrible. I think Tannehill's going to have a good day with his legs and with his arm as well. I just think it's a bad spot for the Steelers. And this is going to be that bad little run we're going to get with the Steelers. But we can probably catch them later on at the end of the season where we're getting a good amount of points. So I'll wait for that moment, but I'm sticking with my Titans here.
I know, but without Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown, you still trust that offense?
Oh, I do. I still trust them even with that. I think this defense has not been playing that well, so I'll be more than happy to take advantage of that at this point.
Okay, no problem. All right, so we'll get into your next game. You got the Bengals at the Broncos, and the spread's -3 for the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm going to be going with the dog here, the road dog. Bengals getting 3 points, coming off that heartbreaking OT loss to the 49ers. I absolutely loved the 49ers last week. I thought it was a real good spot against them. We actually got a good amount of punt luck actually with the 49ers, them getting 2 muff punts. So that was really big for that cover as well. The Broncos coming off that lopsided victory against a shorthand Lions team. They're looking a lot better than they really are, facing a terrible team that just came off and against the spread outright win. This was a perfect spot for the Broncos. I talked about last week. Absolutely loved it. The Bengals had some unlucky breaks with those punt returns that I talked about before. Joe Burrow is starting to look a lot better than I thought he would. That pinky's really not bothering him as much. He had a really good game last week. I'm not really concerned about the Bengals' next games. Baltimore, KC, and at Cleveland. They need to win this game to make a run at the playoffs. And right now, they hold the tiebreaker against Denver. They both are right at the same record. So if they lose this game, they lose that tiebreaker, and that's huge right there. And I don't think we'll really see that much success with the Denver offense this go around. This Cincinnati defense has been real solid, and in past history with the Broncos, when they've scored a lot of points, they've thrown up a dud the next game. They scored 30 on Dallas on that surprising game, but then only scored 13 against the Eagles. And then when they scored 28 against the Chargers, the next week they only scored 9 against the Chiefs. Denver has a 21st ranked defensive DVOA. Cincy is ranked 12th there. I expect a huge day from Jamar Chase. I recommend taking any props with him, overs on everything. Broncos ranked 25th against number 1 wide receivers. So Jamar Chase is going to have a fantastic game here. I really like Burrow in this spot. I think he's getting a little disrespected here. Give me the Bungles +3.
Yeah, I like that game. I would actually side with the Bengals. This is the type of game that I would side with whoever the underdog is. And you're probably right there with Bridgewater. I don't see him putting up much points. So I think the Bengals getting 3. I got to look into that game because seems too juicy why the Bengals are getting 3 points there. I'm going to make sure they don't have any injuries or anything going on.
Yeah, the number one thing is now this week is like COVID week. It seems like there's 75 players that are like in COVID protocol. So these are going to be the plays that we like. But we're going to keep an eye out on some key missing players and everything. We'll update you guys on Twitter whether we're still going to like our plays and everything. But as of right now, these are the plays we're going to like here.
Nice.
So the next game we're going to get into is Saints at Bucks. The line is -11 Bucks. Where are we going with this game?
I actually like the Saints under 17 on the team total points. This week they faced the best defense in NFL versus the run with the Bucks. Kamara in his last 4 meetings against the Bucks is averaging 50 rushing yards a game. So they're going to force Taysom Hill to have to throw the ball, and this is just going to lead to turnovers. In the 2 games that he has started this season, Taysom Hill has 2 passing touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Bucks are pissed off as they actually lost last time to the Saints. So the Bucks are a great team. Saints, I see, aren't going to be so well. They're not going to make the playoffs. Bucks are definitely taking this game. If they're going to take this game, I see the defense coming out. This is late in the season. The defense is going to start showing up. Taysom Hill does not impress me. He got a lot of garbage points last week against the Jets, and they were struggling to score against the Jets. So definitely like this under 17 team total points.
Yeah, I mean, Taysom Hill's not good, right? We know this. He can't throw. He has an injury right now, especially with his finger that he hurt last week. He's going to be running the ball. It's just not going to be pretty. The clock's going to keep running, and if that clock keeps running, that means they're not going to score points. So I like that as well. I actually like the under in this game if I had to take something in general, because I think 46.5 is just screaming under for this game, because I don't know. Like you said, you don't know how the Saints are going to really score. I mean, this plays right into the Bucks' hands, especially on defense. And as far as this matchup goes, the under's 10-3 in their last 13 meetings in Tampa Bay. And this is a division game. It's going to, they're going to put the clamps on. Both teams are going to try and put the clamps on. So it's going to be a hard fought game on both ends. And yeah, the Saints aren't going to score here. So I'm all aboard that Saints under team total.
Nice.
And the next game we're going to get into is a game that was almost on my radar. I was really close to picking this game. I didn't quite pick it. I want to see where Russ is at with this game. It's Vikings at Bears. Bears are getting 3.5, Russ, for Monday Night Football. Where are we going here?
I got the Bears here. Vikings defense are 27th in rushing yards allowed and 25th in passing yards allowed a game. So I see the Bears being able to put up some points in this game. 10 out of the 13 games the Vikings have played have been decided by 7 points or less. So that just shows that this team is just average and playing a lot of close games. So, and we also have the stat of Cousins, who's 1-9 on Monday Night Football games. So I'll definitely take a home underdog, which is just a great bet to take. Monday Night Football underdogs at home. I'll take the Bears here plus 3.5.
Yeah, this was on my radar as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Bears in this spot. I just didn't have enough to pull the trigger on it personally. It was probably my third play on the board, but I do really like the Bears here plus 3.5. They actually showed me a lot last week against the Packers. The only issue is Aaron Rodgers, as he said last time they played, he owns them, and he does. And he ended up, turning on the Jets and throwing, and Aaron Jones was going wild. I mean, it was just like playtime was over, and it's just Green Bay has their number, Aaron Rodgers has their number. So take it for what it is. I don't really take too much into that game. I actually take more positives with the Bears in that game. Now they face a team that has a hard time closing, like the Vikings. I like the Bears plus 3. I think they win outright, honestly. I think this is a money line dog that you can take to the bank. So I'm right there with you. I didn't pull the trigger on it originally, but you're convincing me more now to pull the trigger on it. I'm with you. Bears plus 3.5. Sprinkle the money line a little bit because I think the Bears win this outright.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. So that's for NFL. We're going to jump into the college football, and Chris is going to get us started with the Myrtle Beach Bowl game on. It's on December 20th, guys. I believe that's a Tuesday.
A Monday.
Monday. This one's the Monday. Sorry. This is Old Dominion versus Tulsa, and Tulsa's at minus 9.5. Who you got here?
Yeah, it's bowl season, Russ. I love bowl season. We get good opportunities in these games. Some things you have to look at when it comes to bowl games. It's not the end all be all, but there's always motivation in these games. There's teams that are wanting to win these games, and there's some that don't want to win the games. And I get it. There's stats throughout the year that show this team is this much better than any other team in this and that. And, they are important to some extent, but there is a lot of, you have to take into it with like actually wanting to play in this game, the emotion that comes into these bowl games. You and I were watching it like the Myrtle Beach Bowl. We might not care about that much, but these kids might, these programs might. And I think this is that kind of situation. I like Old Dominion plus 9.5. I think this is way too many points against an average Tulsa team. Old Dominion coming off 5 straight wins to become bowl eligible, getting hot at the right time right here. Tulsa, they're 6-6, just like Old Dominion. Davis Brin, junior QB, he passed for almost 3,000 yards. His issue is 16 TDs, 16 interceptions. He is who he is. He's a gunslinger, but he makes tons of mistakes, and he's a junior. That's not going to change. He's not going to get better overnight. This is who you got with him here. And Old Dominion is not an offensive juggernaut. They just aren't. They aren't ranked really high offensively, but in their last 6 games, they've been averaging 36 points a game. They averaged 28 points a game for the whole season. So the uptick of the offense is moving up. They got a freshman quarterback, Wolf. He has 9 TDs and 4 interceptions in that 6-game span, dropping his 37% percentage of interceptions to touchdown ratio to 30% in that stretch. So he is getting better, more confident. The ceiling is higher for this kind of QB that's a freshman here. He is just beginning to scratch the surface, if you will. He's starting to get, into the flow of the college game, and his ceiling is much higher than Brin. We already know what Brin can do, and it's not that great. So Old Dominion pretty much playing in their first bowl game, as far as I know. I have not seen them ever in a bowl game. Fairly new to D1. This is a time for them. Tulsa has been a program that has been in bowl games and pretty decent bowl games before. I don't think they take this as seriously as Old Dominion. Give me Old Dominion Monarchs plus 9.5 Myrtle Beach Bowl. Let's go.
Nice. Yeah, Tulsa was on my radar for a team I was going to be fading this year, so definitely looks great to get them in a spot in the bowl game where you can fade them. So that looks
absolutely
good.
And we're going to get into Russ's game next. A game that I find pretty interesting with a high-powered offense in the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers against Appalachian State, the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl, Saturday, December 18th, Russ. Where are we going here?
Yeah, I knew you were going to like this game because you were talking about this team a couple of weeks ago. You were talking about these guys. So definitely like this spot here. Western Kentucky plus 3 here. I'm going to take Appalachian State. They've actually won 6 straight bowl games. So I see the public just seems like they're going to be all over them in this game. I'll happily fade the public in this spot. Western Kentucky has a very high-powered offense, second in offensive yards a game. And you got Zappy, their stud quarterback. He's a senior, so I see him wanting this game a lot more. You talk about the motivation factor here. Appalachian State, the last 2 seasons under their new coach, Sean Clark, when they are favored by 6 points or less, 0-3 against the spread, losing all of those games outright. They are a team that just dominates a bad conference, so I just see them being overwhelmed by Western Kentucky. If they jump up on top of them, Western Kentucky will just keep putting up points. And I saw something else. Also, Corey Sutton, Appalachian State's top receiver. He's a senior. He got hurt in the last game in the championship game. He is out for this game. It's a huge blow for the team. Give me Western Kentucky +3 and definitely take the money line here, guys. And Chris, this is what I'm talking about here. I got a special little prop for everybody here. All right.
All right, here we go. I'm ready.
It's worth the shot here. All right. So it's the team that's going to score the most points in all the bowl games. Western Kentucky, they're at 42-1, Chris. You got to take that. The over-under for this game is at 67, 68. They win this game, they're going to put up 40-some points. All right. Definitely worth it. 42-1 odds. Get this in. I saw the odds on FanDuel, guys, if you want to check it out. The second favorite for total points for games, this game is listed as the second favorite for the most points scored in a game. So just because Western Kentucky's the underdog here, these guys are like 20th on the list for the team to score. That's why they're at 42-1. Great little spot, sneaky spot here, guys. I would jump on this Western Kentucky. It's worth 42-1 odds, guys. That's crazy odds. So try to get that in. Like we said, high-powered offense. What are they? Second offensive yards, Chris?
Yeah, they're one of the best passing teams in the entire country with Bailey Zappi.
The quarterback's got 55 passing touchdowns or something. It's absolutely absurd to be at 42-1 in a useless small team kind of bowl game. I've been looking through all these other bowl games. I don't see anything crazy jumping out to me. I think Ohio State's the favorite to score the most points, but looking at that game, Ohio State against Utah, that seems like a game where Ohio State just does not care at all. They're not in a playoff. They could care less. So definitely, if they're the favorite, I'm all for it. No one else scares me to put up big numbers.
Yeah, I mean, Western Kentucky, I talked about them. It was 2 weeks ago. It was my one college football game. That was part of my 8-0 run. I love the over in that game. Western Kentucky, they score a lot. Bailey Zappi's been awesome. And but the thing is with Western Kentucky, they get hot in the second half, so their points are never going to end for the most part. They played a pretty tough UTSA team. I thought actually Western Kentucky could have won the game, honestly, because that offense was clicking so well.
Oh, that was last week, right? They scored 40.
2 weeks ago.
They scored, 41 points or something?
They scored 41 points in a slow offensive game.
And a loss.
That pretty much the Roadrunners controlled the clock with in the first half. So that is a great reason to take them for the most points for the week. App State is a pretty tough team, but you're never out of it. That's for sure.
They're missing their top receiver, so that's huge for them too, for Appalachian State.
They had a huge letdown, of course, against the Roadrunners. So is this a point where they just don't care anymore and they're heartbroken because they lost the conference championship game, or is this a point where they just rise and fire and they put up points like crazy? But I would side with the points on putting up the points, because this offense scores fast and quick. So as long as you don't get any BS holding calls, illegal man down the fields or anything with their play action, this should be a slam dunk here.
If you look at the past couple Appalachian State bowl games, they had some terrible teams they're playing. They were favored by like -22 last year. So this is the same coach. This is only his second year. Last year he had that nice little easy win, -22 favorite. Now he's going to come into a situation where they're a small favorite. They think they're the better team. You can't when you have a team that's an underdog and you're a top 10 offense or top 5 offense, this team, you can't sleep on a team like this. So if Appalachian State comes out a little flat, they're just going to be done for this game. So definitely love this spot here.
And we actually have a question here. Nice. Sorry, I'm late on the NFL. You all touching Las Vegas, Cleveland with the COVID stuff. What have you heard, Russ?
I know. Yeah, I can't keep up with the COVID right now, guys. That's why I don't even get mixed up with it. I wait till the end of the week to get involved with the COVID games, because when I saw Cleveland, I'm like, okay, this is easy money. Cleveland's down to a pick 'em, so there's got to be a ton of guys out for that game. That's why I didn't even try to even do research on that game, because I have certain rules I follow, and the Raiders are a team that I'm not trying to take all year. I'm not getting involved with them. So when I see that this is a Raiders spread, I'm not really interested in the game. So that's why I kind of just avoided it, because I don't want to talk myself into taking the Raiders in that game. But I don't know if you have any info on that game. I don't know if there's a bunch of, I haven't looked into the COVIDs with that.
Yeah, so I mean, with the QB situation, I don't think it should really move the line that much for the most part. We've seen what they've done there, and it hasn't really been that great at all with Baker Mayfield. If I don't know I think their backup's Whedon, right? I mean, it's somebody that's like serviceable.
Case Keenum.
Oh,
yeah.
Casey Keenum, same deal, same kind of guy. So like Casey Keenum's their backup. We've seen him with Minnesota. He can come in a game and play well. I don't think, honestly, you lose that much with Baker Mayfield with him. So if you're getting a lot of money that's going that way because of Baker, then I would be all for the Browns, because I think Casey Keenum can win you this game against the Raiders. I don't doubt that for one bit. So
yeah, I'm reading now. Looks like Stefanski might have it too, so he might not be there. So I've told Chris about this. Like, I've just noticed that, like, when like COVID's happen and you get some injuries, it's always good. Like, when this crazy stuff happens, it's good to have the dog. So if the Browns end up being the dog in this game, even if they're +1 or something, I'm all over the Browns here. Like, I don't trust when bad things happen and you're the favorite, then I don't trust those type of teams. But when those bad things happen and you're a dog, the teams, like, other guys step up in their place and play very well. I mean, they played without Baker earlier in the season against the Broncos, and Keenum played well. I mean, they put up 17 points. It was 17-14. That's probably what's going to happen here. They're just going to have to win a low-scoring game. The defense shows up when they need to sometimes. So definitely, if you don't want to actually just bet a game like this anyway, too, Chris, right? Because you just have an outbreak. You don't really want to bet this game. So you have much more games that you could just take. Avoid something crazy going on with a game and just avoid it completely, is what I would say.
Yeah, I would say that too. I mean, it's crazy because there's going to be like 75 people 75 players, it looks like, that the report's coming out. That's going to be all COVID stuff. So who knows who's really playing and stuff. I try not to have that affect my handicapping of games I like. So I will take it with what happens afterwards, but I cannot just handicap right off the bat because of COVID. I got to trust my work that I put in. Our work's been great the last 2 weeks, and this whole season's been really good. So I don't think that should change at all when it comes to what we do and the info we give out to you guys. So until we find out some major stuff about it, we got to trust our work. It's been proven. So that's what we're doing.
Yep. And that's why we changed the show up for you guys, because we just want to focus on the best bets that we're focused on. That's going to make you guys money. We don't want to just give you all the random games and give you guys any kind of losses at all. So we're going to stick with the college football and jump into the last game here. You got the Tropical Smoothie Cafe Frisco Bowl on Tuesday, December 21st. We got Texas San Antonio -2.5 for San Diego State. What are you going to close us out with here? Who you got?
Yeah, this is the bowl everyone has circled on the calendar. I know this is it right here, the Tropical Smoothie Cafe Frisco Bowl, right in Texas, the heart of Texas. All right. So this is who I'm liking here. I'm loving the Roadrunners here. Not gonna lie. The Roadrunners, they had that bad game against the Mean Green that they didn't really care about. We forgot about them. They went up against Western Kentucky and pretty much punched them in the mouth for the most part. The score doesn't really show it, but they dominated that game completely in the air, running, everything else. San Diego State, coming off that Mountain West Championship loss against Nevada, that offense sucks. It's really bad. The San Diego State defense is really good. I totally get it. This is the best Roadrunners team that I can recall seeing ever, and it's led by upperclassmen. This is the best season they've had in their program, winning a conference championship that they weren't supposed to win. And then to top that off with a bowl game victory, they want to finish the job here, Russ. That's what comes down to it. UTSA has never won a bowl game. They played in 2020, 2016. This game will mean more to this program than it will ever the San Diego State. They've been in tons of bowls. I know they haven't been in since 2019, but this is a spot where San Diego State cannot score. They have a lot of problems. Their quarterback they were playing before, he just was terrible, and he just got hurt with his knee. And Shavers, their fourth best wide receiver, looks like he's not going to play. And that means a lot because there's not much offense with it. And if you're already losing your fourth best wide receiver, that's an issue. And the QB, Jordan Brockshire, who's been taking over, he threw for 117 yards with no TDs in that championship game against Nevada, who, isn't really setting the world on fire. This offense is terrible. The defense is ranked good. They're 13th in the country. UTSA, their defense is ranked 67th in the country, but I don't find that to be that much of an issue because the offense is so bad for the Aztecs. And UTSA is led by their senior Frank Harris, who's been fantastic. 3,000 passing yards, 25 TDs, only 5 interceptions, and he's also rushed for 6 TDs, averaging at least 5 yards a carry. And McCormick, their junior running back, starting to get into the flow of things. He was going a little slow. He hit a little bump for a little bit, but then once that championship game came by, man, he was on fire. He was running with like his head on fire. He was unbelievable. He has 1,500 rushing yards with 15 TDs. And Franklin at wideout, he has almost 1,000 yards receiving with 11 TDs. The Roadrunners defense should be able to hold Western Kentucky to 13 points based on the first half of what happened at the Conference USA game. They held what I'm getting at is pretty much just Western Kentucky. They held them to 13 points. We talked about this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
This is a high-powered offense. They can control the tempo with their run game, and if San Diego State really doesn't get many possessions, they are not going to take advantage of the times they have the ball. They're literally their best player is a punter, and I'm not even joking. He's the best punter in the country. This total is actually the highest total for the Aztecs in a game. So I assume, from what I base on this line alone, the Roadrunners should be able to score a good amount against San Diego State here. It's high for a reason. It's around 49.5, I believe. Let me double check. Let's see here. It is over at 49.5. That's where we're at right now. So 49.5. That's the highest it's ever been for a San Diego State team. That's really outrageous. So I think that speaks volumes at the end of the day. I don't think if this total was a lot lower, I think it would be a scarier line for the Roadrunners. But since it's so high and it's a short line, I think it's a great spot for them. And I love them here -2.5 to complete this amazing season by the Roadrunners.
Yeah, definitely. I don't trust San Diego State at all. They can't score at all. And there's things I've taught myself, just don't bet on the MAC and the WAC. So I avoid those teams as much as I can.
Oh, look at this. Speaking of plays that we loved over here, that Chargers played a couple weeks ago.
Bringing me back the good times. Play of the month. Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We love the Chargers that game.
I don't know if he got the -13.5 like our boy Mitch got in. So
yeah, that was a play we both absolutely loved. Like I said before, when Russ and I are on a game, it's very good to be on. Unfortunately, we didn't run into that this week, but we'll talk more about that later. But that'll do it for us, guys. We gave out our best plays. We're feeling real good about them. We got bowl season, a lot of games coming up for the rest of the season for college football, especially with the playoffs. And NFL is moving right along. And Russ and I have been red hot. 15-2, last 2 weeks. You jump on the train. This is where you're making the money. Am I right, Russ?
Yeah, that's right, guys. And make sure you download the Sharp app. Get the best available line that you guys can on these games, no matter what. And if you guys are watching the show, help us out. Hit the like button on here, subscribe so you guys can catch us every Wednesday. We're going to put out the show every 9 o'clock Eastern time. And if you guys are watching this on Twitter or anything, make sure you guys shoot us a like or retweet. Just get the word out even more, guys, because we just want to keep making people more money with these easy picks. We've been doing this a long time, and we know what games to focus in on. So that'll close out the show, and I'll throw it over to Chris to finish it off.
Yeah, absolutely, Russ. We're into the groove of things right now. You do not want to miss out on these winners. Thank you again, guys, for watching. Subscribe, tell people, everything else, man. Get the word out because we're putting out winners left and right, and you don't want to miss out. Your buddies don't want to miss out. So without further ado, Russ, let's go tackle that board.
Let's tackle the board.